When Assassin's Creed came out in 2007, it got people hooked on the franchise and made people excited for a sequel. In order to get people hooked, it must have been a great game, so in this video, we're going to take a look at 5 great things in Assassin's Creed 1. Do bear in mind this is my opinion. If you agree or disagree or have more to add, that's what the comment section is there for. Do not feel afraid to get involved. First of all, we have got the satisfying combat. Now, the combat in Assassin's Creed 1, although it did need some work, it was quite satisfying to do when you got the counters and the combos, and you could feel the satisfaction. However, it wasn't too hard, it wasn't too easy, it was about just right difficulty wise, and at the same time it wasn't too ridiculous like Syndicate's choppy combat, which looks like shit. I personally found some satisfaction out of the combat, and it was obviously a good combat system because instead of changing it for the next game, they reused it and they improved on it for the next two, so obviously it was a good combat system. After that, we got the unsatisfying but non-messy combat in Assassin's Creed 3, 4 and Rogue. Then there are Unity and Syndicate's combats, which also didn't quite cut it. So the combat in the first 4 games, which started with the combat in Assassin's Creed 1, was probably the best combat engine that we've seen. And that's definitely what my view on it is. Although perhaps the first game could have done with some more variation in kill moves and so on and so forth, the combat itself was a cool engine that worked and did the job, and it didn't look stupid, so that's something that I can give credit to Assassin's Creed 1 for. Next up, we do of course have the setting, which is the Holy Land during the Third Crusade, which is a great setting for Assassin's Creed. I find it's probably where you'd find the Assassins and Templars and believe it in its entirety, whereas in the others there's always this ridiculous spin where you think, do I really believe that, or could I believe that that actually happened? Whereas in the first Assassin's Creed game it seems like you could probably fully believe it. Then there's the medieval setting, which I just think works all around for Assassin's Creed. I like the medieval feel of the game because it was very fitting for what it was, because it's obviously the Crusade. They made that, they painted it perfectly in the game, and then they added in a believable story on top, which honestly worked. Thus meaning the setting worked for Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed actually worked for the setting, so it went both ways. And it's probably one of the most believable periods that we've seen in Assassin's Creed as far as Assassin's Creed itself is concerned. Although the rest of the game lacked diversity, the assassination missions in the game were actually quite diverse. Now of course they all ended with your hidden blade in the throat of your enemy, however how you get there was very different. Some of them involved chases, some of them involved infiltrating parties and then chasing, some of them involved fighting your enemy head on and having them almost kick the shit out of you because they're either elite fighters or whatnot, and just some of them just involve flat out killing them. Beyond that, locations where assassinations could be held could be a bazaar, it could have been a party like I said before, it could be a battlefield. And although I will admit that the rest of the game was very repetitive, the assassination missions where you go and assassinate your target weren't as repetitive. They were actually quite diverse, by comparison at least, and probably by a bit more on the side. The assassination parts were definitely my favourite parts of each individual memory, sequence, whatever, because not only is this what they build up to, but it's also the most unique part of every sequence. Being the first AC game, AC1 introduced the cryptic stuff that we loved about the older Assassin's Creed games, the stuff that we wish there were more of in the recent ones. There is a little bit, but it's not as good as it was. And how Assassin's Creed 1 set up a sequel was incredibly cryptic. It made you think, wait, where is this going? And that's what I miss about Assassin's Creed. I miss caring about what happens next. And at the end of Assassin's Creed 1, they basically suggest that, and that there's something happening next. And that's what made me excited about the next game. And then in the end of the next game, that's what made me excited about the next one. But because it all started with Assassin's Creed 1, we have to give credit where it's due. Assassin's Creed 1 thrived on this cryptic stuff at the end. It made the game just feel like that's only the first chapter, so there's more to it, which is what I was excited for, which made Assassin's Creed 2 also all the more cooler, because we get those answers, or at least some of those answers, and then we get more questions at the end and things become even more cryptic, and then there's even more to do or to be excited for, and recently games have lacked that, so Assassin's Creed 1 has that on a lot of the other games. And finally, it was the first Assassin's Creed game, plain and simple. Assassin's Creed 1 started off the franchise in every way possible. It was the only one that started off the franchise. When it started, it was one of those things that we wanted more. The sequel was worth waiting for. Assassin's Creed 2 is incredible, and honestly, After Assassin's Creed 2, I became a fan of Assassin's Creed. Brotherhood and Revelations were also great, and after that it might have lost its touch a little bit, but it's still Assassin's Creed somewhere in there, and hopefully we get to see more years of it. But without Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed just wouldn't exist, plain and simple. Whether it's the good stuff or the bad stuff, without Assassin's Creed wouldn't exist. I know that sounds weird, but I'm talking about the first Assassin's Creed game here. And that's what makes Assassin's Creed 1 special out of all the points the most. Because it's the first game, it started off the franchise, and it started off in a really good way. But there you have it, everybody, 5 great things in Assassin's Creed 1. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share, comment. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have more to add, do you disagree or agree on any of the points? I'm really interested in finding out what you think. But thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next one with another video. So yeah.